Welcome to the Transitions Daily podcast. Transitions Daily is an online recovery group that offers a daily distribution of popular recovery resources accompanied by a secret Facebook group for discussion. We hope you enjoy today's readings.
This is Transitions Daily for May 13th, read by Scott B. from Detroit, Michigan. AA Thoughts for the Day. Disease. Some strongly object to the AA position that alcoholism is an illness. This concept, they feel, removes moral responsibility from alcoholics. As any AA knows, this is far from true. We do not use the concept of sickness to absolve our members from responsibility. On the contrary, we use the fact of fatal illness to clamp the heaviest kind of moral obligation onto the sufferer, the obligation to use AA's 12 steps to get well. As Bill sees it, page 32. Thought to consider. The road to recovery is always under construction. Acronyms: BATH, Behavior, Attitude, Thinking, and Habits. Just for today, candor. Step 5. Admit it to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. When we reach AA, and for the first time in our lives stood among people who seemed to understand, the sense of belonging was tremendously exciting. We thought the isolation problem had been solved, but we soon discovered that while we weren't alone anymore, in a social sense, we still suffered many of the old pangs of anxious apartness. Until we had talked with complete candor of our conflicts and had listened to someone else do the same thing, we still didn't belong. Step 5 was the answer. It was the beginning of true kinship with man and God. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 57. Daily Reflections, the easier, softer way. If we skip this vital step, we may not overcome drinking. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 72. I certainly didn't leap at the opportunity to face who I was, especially when the pains of my drinking days hung over me like a dark cloud. But I soon heard at the meetings about the fellow member who just didn't want to take step 5 and kept coming back to meetings, trembling from the horrors of reliving his past. The easier, softer way is to take these steps to freedom from our fatal disease and to put our faith in the fellowship of a higher power. As Bill sees it, seeking fool's gold. Pride is the basic breeder of most human difficulties, the chief block to true progress. Pride lures us into making demands upon ourselves or upon others which cannot be met without perverting or misusing our God-given instincts. When the satisfaction of our instincts for sex, security, and a place in society becomes the primary object of our lives, then pride steps in to justify our excesses. I may obtain humility for today only to the extent that I'm able to avoid the bog of guilt and rebellion on one hand, on the other hand, that fair but deceiving land which is strewn with fool's gold coins of pride. This is how I can find and stay on the high road of humility, which lies between these extremes. Therefore, a constant inventory which can reveal when I am off the road is always in order. 12 and 12, page 48 and 49, Grapevine, June, 1961. Big Book Quote. If you are a serious alcoholic as we were, we believe there is no middle-of-the-road solution. We were in a position where life was becoming impossible, and if we had passed into the region from which there is no return through human aid, we had but two alternatives. One was to go on to the bitter end, blotting out the consciousness of our intolerable situation as best we could, and the other, to accept spiritual help. This we did because we honestly wanted to, and were willing to make the effort. Alcoholics Anonymous, We Agnostics, page 46. 24 hours a day. AA Thought for the Day. In AA we find fellowship and release and strength. And having found these things, the real reasons for our drinking are taken away. Then drinking has no more justification in our minds. We no longer need to fight against drink. Drink just naturally leaves us. At first we are sorry that we can't drink, but we get so that we are glad that we don't have to drink. Am I glad that I don't have to drink? Meditation for the day. Try never to judge. The human mind is so delicate and so complex that only its maker can know it wholly. Each mind is so different, actuated by such different motives, controlled by such different circumstances, influenced by such different sufferings. You cannot know all the influences that have gone to make up a personality. Therefore, it is impossible for you to judge wholly that personality. But God knows that person wholly, and He can change it. Leave to God the unraveling of the puzzles of personality, and leave it to God to teach you the proper understanding. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may not judge other people. I pray that I may be certain that God can set right what is wrong in every personality. Hazelden Foundation, P.O. Box 176, Center City, Minnesota, 55012. My name is Scott, and I'm an alcoholic.
We hope you enjoyed today's readings. You can also receive Transitions Daily via email and discuss today's readings in our secret Facebook group. So for more information, go to dailyaaemails.com today.
Other than the 24 hours a day reading, unless otherwise specified, all quotes copyright Alcoholics Anonymous World Services, Inc., 1952, 1957, 1967, 1973, 1975, 1976, 1980, 1981, 1984, 1985, 1988, 1990, or 2001.